Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. So today I'm going to be making up some shrimp Alfredo. It's a dish that I love. I wasn't going to do a video on it. I actually just previously started getting stuff put in and getting stuff ready, and then I stopped because I said, you know what, it's a dish that everybody likes. I think you guys would enjoy trying it out. And so I wanted to kind of make it and do a video of it. First thing you're going to want to do is get some butter, throw it in the pan. I like to set my heat to medium. Melt my butter and throw some garlic in there and get the garlic sauteing a little bit. You can use either a freshly cut garlic or you can use a minced bottled garlic. I'm going to be using the minced bottled garlic today. So let's get started. Now once you got the butter melted, you got the garlic in there sauteing up a little bit. It's not going to take long really. Garlic, I mean, it's going to be in here cooking for a while, so basically get the butter all melted. You want to put a little color in there, so just kind of keep stirring it. That's an important thing when cooking Alfredo. You're going to be wanting to be stirring a lot because when you add the cream, you don't want the cream to burn inside of it. So once you got this going, let it saute for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then you're going to want to add the shrimp. So I'm going to be adding in 2 pounds of already peeled raw shrimp. You can peel your own, or you can buy them pre-peeled. I bought raw deveined shrimp that I peeled, and now I'm going to throw them in. Now once you throw them in here, make sure you're constantly stirring. You want to get this all stirred up good. You don't want to leave shrimp on the bottom burning while shrimp on the top are being raw. So keep stirring it, keep it moving. As you can see, the shrimp are going to start to turn pink. That's them basically cooking. You'll just keep cooking them and keep stirring them up until you don't see any raw shrimp. So if I point right there, you can see that one's still raw. There's still raw shrimp in there. I keep stirring. At this point, I'm going to add in, they're still cooking, but at this point I'm going to add in a bunch of cilantro. I love cilantro. I love the flavor that it brings to the dish. This will cook down in with it. It will add the flavor into the shrimp, and it will just continue to cook with the shrimp. And then I'm going to stir that in too. As you can see, it's continuing to cook. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to add in some just white Chardonnay. That's going to add to the flavor. Once I mix up the sauce, it's going to get absorbed in with the sauce. A lot of the flavor of the wine will basically stay in the dish, but the water will kind of evaporate out, leaving the flavor, intensifying the shrimp flavor. Now I'm going to continue to stir and let it cook. Now, one thing to note, if you don't have white wine in the house, it's okay. You don't have to add the wine. There is no exact science to cooking. It's what I'm using. That's what I have in my house right now, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm also going to add some salt and pepper in here, and I'm going to raise my heat. I'm taking it up from medium, which is about 5. I'm taking it up to an 8. And the reason I'm taking it up to an 8 is because I want some of that water to evaporate out. I'm going to get this salt and pepper, put some salt and pepper in there, and let it continue to cook. Okay, so once you've got your shrimp all cooked out, the next step you're going to do also, throw on the side on another burner, put some water and start it boiling. That way you can boil your pasta up. As you can see over here, I'm just doing it in a wok. I'm actually going to use some pancetta noodles, which is like a rice noodle instead of like a heavy pasta noodle. So I'll show you guys that once that gets going. So while that's boiling, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull my shrimp and I'm going to put it off to the side. I don't want the shrimp to overcook, so I'm going to separate that, but I'm going to keep all the liquid in here, and then I'm going to add the shrimp back in, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the sauce. So first thing you're going to want to do is use some sort of a ladle, separate out all your shrimp, and put them on a side dish. So as you can see, I've separated all the shrimp. Now you're going to have your juice left over. I'm going to let that come back up to a light simmer before I add my cream in there. You're going to have some garlic left in there. You're going to have some cilantro left in there. That's okay. That's what you want. You want that because that will add the flavor into the heavy cream, into the Alfredo sauce. So I can see it's already starting to simmer. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the cream. So if you've never done this before, this next step is going to look weird. It did to me the first time that I seen this done. You're just going to pour your cream in here, and then you're going to get it stirred up, mixing up. There is no exact science to how much cream you put in. You want to mix it up, get it good and stirred, and keep stirring it. You don't want the cream to burn, and when you add the cheese, you definitely don't want the cheese to stick to the bottom of the pan and burn. So I'm going to get this stirred, and we'll come right back. Okay, so now I've got the cream in here. I've got it stirred up. I'm going to let it keep heating up, and I'm going to continue to stir it. My heat right now is on 6. I just upped it a little bit above medium. That way, because I know the cream was pretty cold, I'm adding it in there. It ain't going to take long before it starts to simmer. I don't want it to boil, but I also don't want it to be cold, because we're going to start adding in cheese in a minute, and the cheese is going to melt pretty quick in here. It's going to make this really cheesy, creamy. It's going to be delicious. So I'm going to let it heat up, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so now I know someone probably out there, I'm still waiting for it to heat up, but I just thought of something. Someone out there right now is asking, well, how much cream? How will I know what too much cream is versus too little? The cream is okay. You don't have to, there's no ratio, but here's the thing. If you have too much cream and not enough cheese, it's going to be runny. If you have too much cheese and not enough cream, it's going to be too thick to spread out on the pasta. Now, right now I have a whole bag of Parmesan, shredded Parmesan. I'm going to add the whole bag. I keep extra cheese on hand because I use this a lot. If I need more, if it's still runny when it's done, then all I'm going to do is just add some more, a little bit more cheese in there. And that's going to thicken it up. That's why I say there is no wrong amount. It's not an exact, I see people sometimes they think they got to follow a recipe to the T. Not really the case. So we're going to just keep, if I have to add a little more cheese after, then I'll add a little bit more. Now you can see it's starting to simmer a little bit. The little bubbles are starting to come up. That means it's good and hot. I'm going to give it one more stir, and then I'm going to start adding in some cheese. Now once you get it to kind of simmer a little bit, go ahead and drop your heat back down to medium and start adding some cheese. This is where the magic really, this is what's going to, as this cheese melts, and you're going to want to keep stirring this in here too. But as you start adding the cheese, it's going to cream up. You want to make sure that you continuously stir this up. You don't want the cheese to stick to the bottom of the pan. You want it to get good and melted. Make sure you lowered your heat at this point. You want to lower your heat down to about medium. And just keep adding cheese until you get a consistency that you like. Now as you can see, it's still really runny. So I'm going to add some more cheese, and I'm going to keep adding cheese. And if I have to break out another bag of cheese, I'm going to do that. And this is the reason that I like to keep extra cheese on hand. If you make this dish, the cheese comes in handy for a lot of different recipes. So just continue to stir it. Keep it stirring. I'm going to end up putting the camera down and pausing it just so I can free up my other hand and get this stirred up in there really good. And I will be right back. So once you got it to the consistency that you like, you can see here it's kind of starting to be cheesy. It's going to have a great flavor. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to stir it, but I'm going to lower the heat even lower. I'm going to take my heat down to about simmer or 1 or 2 basically on the 10, or one of your whatever your lowest setting is. The next thing I'm going to do, now keep in mind your sauce is already done, but your shrimp's already cooked. So now I'm going to add back in the shrimp, any of the garlic that might have gotten scooped out, any of the other stuff that gotten scooped out. This is going to reheat the shrimp up. It's going to stir it all in there and add the flavor to it. I'm still waiting on my noodles to cook. The water ain't quite boiling yet, but the noodles that I'm using are going to be flash noodles, which means they're going to cook really fast. So I'm going to get this stirred in, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so now I just have it basically waiting. It's on the lowest setting. Everything's mixed in good. Still waiting to do my noodles. My water is just now starting to simmer. But like I said, these noodles are going to cook really quick. These are the noodles that I'm using. These are rice noodles. A lot of people use these for pancit. They cook really fast. as opposed to like you can use an Alfredo noodle if you like spaghetti, Alfredo, whatever kind of noodle you like, you can use. I'm using these because I'm trying to eat a little more healthier. I know this ain't the healthiest dish, but I believe that if you can cut a little bit here, a little bit there, then go ahead and try to do that. So with that being said, my water's just now starting to simmer. I'm only about 30 seconds away to a minute away from putting in these noodles. These noodles are going to cook extremely fast. As you saw, they are ultra thin. They're basically like an angel hair, if you're into like spaghetti. So as you can see, my water started to boil. I'm going to throw these in. Look how quick these cook though. They're literally almost cooking instantly. It does not take long for these. That's why I love these noodles too. Another perk about them. As soon as they're submerged, about a minute or two, and they're already going to be cooked because they're so thin and the water's so hot. Okay, so I had them in about 3 minutes now. They are done. Depending on the kind of pasta that you're using, I'm using the same strainer. If you're seeing green, that's just the parsley or the cilantro that I had used in my strainer. It's not going to matter. It's going to be mixed in anyway. I'm going to pull this out, slap it in a bowl. Depending on the kind of pasta you're using will depend on how long your cooking time will be for the pasta. So once you get all your noodles pulled out, next thing we're going to do, we're going to pour the sauce on top of this. And then you can decide if you need a little bit more noodles or not. Looking at this, maybe I should have done 2 packs of noodles. I'm going to mix in the sauce, see what it looks like, and then go from there. So this looks absolutely delicious. I still have a fair amount of sauce left, so I actually put another pack of noodles in there. At this point, I'm going to ask if you could hit the like and the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Also, if you could give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this recipe. Definitely, if you try it out, let me know how it came out. I love doing recipes. I love sharing how to cook with you guys. It's just something I really enjoy. I'm going to wait a few minutes, get a second pack of noodles cooked up, and then I'm going to end up probably putting some of this up right off, a tray of this, and then we will have a tray of this for dinner. So, and there you have it, guys. There is the finished product. I'm going to put a little bit of parsley flakes on top, and maybe even sprinkle a little cheese on top, make it look a little more delicious. And I mean, that already looks good to go. I mean, there's tons of shrimp in there, and that's 2 pounds of shrimp. That's 2 pounds of rice noodles and some pretty darn good sauce. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment, hit that subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and hit that like that you like the recipe. And I hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk. We got a lot more great videos coming out, and thanks for everything, guys. One last thing to note, it's if you have a topic that you'd like us to talk about, please definitely leave us a comment and say that topic. We're always trying to come up with ideas to share with you guys, and we are here for you. So please, we couldn't be here without your support, and hopefully we're doing what you guys want to see more topics on. So I thank you guys for watching, and have a great one. Bye-bye.